Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Odio, and I'm back today to do another review for you. And today it's the season finale of Frasier, Father Christmas. That's why I'm dressed up for it. It's a Christmas episode and a season finale. I've been loving the season so far, so I'm excited for the finale. Let's get into it. Alright, so the season finale is also going to double as a Christmas episode. I love Christmas episodes because I love Christmas, so I was super excited for it to end like this. I love this whole season. I feel like they've really gotten to shine on the secondary characters, and they're really starting to come into their own, so it's not just Frasier carrying the load anymore. So I really hope it gets renewed, but I don't think it did yet. But let's get into the finale here. So in the finale, Frasier's going to be having a big Christmas dinner party at his place. He's invited his girlfriend, that bartender girl. She said she's working, but we found out she's not because she's kind of nervous to go to Frasier's party because he makes such a big deal about everything, and they have only been on a couple of dates, so she's a bit nervous. We find out that Alan's daughter is in town to see the other grandparents, but doesn't want to see him. Still kind of hurts his feelings, so Frasier and them feel bad about that. So then when Alan's not looking, they all kind of start to hatch a plan. Also, I want to mention, Roz is back. She's been there for a couple episodes, just hanging out at tables, hanging out when they're doing stuff. I love it. I like that they reintegrated her back in, just like a shoe. She fits comfortably in with the gang. So Frasier's son, everybody's hanging out at the cafe, and they're like, well, you know, we shouldn't meddle in Alan's business. It's between him and his daughter and the granddaughter, whatever like that. That being said, what are you going to do to meddle, Frasier? He's like, no. Well, since you ask. And he gets them all together for this big plan, multifaceted. Like, he's got David, Niles' kid. He's going back to his house. He's going to make a gingerbread house town because that's something that Alan used to do. So him and Roz and Eve are going to go take care of that. And let me tell you, David takes this very seriously. When he gets to the house later on to make the gingerbread city, he makes what I will, in my opinion, honestly, the greatest gingerbread extravaganza emporium of a town you have ever seen. It was awesome looking. I want that gingerbread town in my house. David did an amazing job. He kept saying how important it was. And he had Roz and Eve there, and he's like, your guys' work sucks. Your gingerbread house, are you trying to destroy my town? And he gets so into it, he doesn't sleep and stuff. He's like, well, you know, it was the Renaissance. Many people died from the plague, as you can see in the graveyard. It was awesome. Definitely probably David's best episode. Every time he was on the screen, I was laughing. He was either scolding people for looking at the village the wrong way. They weren't giving him enough praise. Frasier did, though. Frasier loved it. When he saw it, he said, you have outdone yourself. He's like, this is amazing. Rip it all down. But his gingerbread place was great. So their whole plan to meddle for Alan to get him a better Christmas and get him to meet his granddaughter starts at the hotel where Frasier's girlfriend works at. They all kind of stake out and hang out there. They're meeting people, doing stuff. Freddie's supposed to distract Alan at the bar, which he does by drinking with him. And everyone's like, can you keep up with Alan? He's like, he's an old man. Of course I can. No, he can't. Alan likes his scotch neat, but he made Freddie awfully messy. After a couple of them, he was wasted talking to Santas and stuff like that. But long story short, they do find her there at the actual hotel, and she doesn't really want to talk to Alan. But out of nowhere, they come face to face, and you're like, oh goodness, all right, Frasier's plan is going to work. And she is horrible. Oh my God, it was so mean. She's like, I'm glad you're here. Just so I can tell you to your face, stop calling me, stop texting me. I don't want you in my life. I was like, oh Alan, no. And he was just like, okay. And like, he just like walks away. And I was like, oh, brutal. What a horrible backfire. Like, this plan didn't work. And like, Alan, they go meet him at the office, and he's like, I know what you meant. I know you meant well, but you know, it's a little devastating right now. I was like, yeah, holy cow. So it didn't work out. I thought we were going to get like a Christmas miracle. But like she said to Frasier, you don't understand what it's like. Like, I don't want him back in my life. He betrayed me. He left me. He wasn't there for us. I'm not interested in him anymore, right? And Frasier's like, I tried to get through to her. And he does try. He tries talking to her and explaining, but she's just not going to listen because he doesn't have the viewpoint. But you know who does? Freddie. Because who was abandoned by his dad when they were 8 years old? She's like, did that ever happen to you? He's like, well, yes, it did. He went to Seattle. You know what I mean? Like, he used to live in Boston, I believe it was, at Cheers, right? So he actually understands. So once Freddie talks to Alan's daughter, she finally comes around. And Frasier's having his dinner, his Christmas party, and they're playing the piano and stuff. It's great. David's got the gingerbread houses all thrown out. He looks very salty about it. But it's a typical boring party with Frasier playing the piano. Roz is there. And Alan ends up coming. I didn't think he was going to because he looked pretty sad, but he does come, and he brings Frasier's bartender girlfriend. She was lying about having to work because she was nervous, but she came around like a Christmas miracle to come on in and see Frasier, right? Because he loves with his whole heart. Like Alan said, you either want that or you don't. And Alan's a bit down, but he says, I do need to spend the time with family. And then we just get an honestly awesome moment for the finale. I hope we get more Frasier, but if we don't, at least this happens. There's a knock on the door, and Alan's daughter comes to the party to see Alan. It's so nice because you hear about her for the seasons, and they're finally together. And she brings out her his granddaughter, a little baby, and lets Alan hold her, and he brings it into the party. Oh, it was so nice to see. It was just such a great moment. Alan, finally getting, redemption a little bit, getting to see his daughter and his granddaughter. Frasier getting everyone together at the party. And then he realizes that Freddie must have been the one who did that. And he says, Freddie, did you meddle, perhaps? Freddie's like, maybe a little. I did kind of like it. Frasier's like, well, we have so much meddling to do in the new year, son. It's going to be great. He's like, no, I don't want to keep doing it. And he's like, well, he lays out some plan for Olivia to get her married. And Freddie's like, why does that sound like a great idea? No more meddling. And then Frasier goes off and they all sing and get together for Christmas. And it's awesome. Great touching moment. You get a nice final, all the cast together like in a Christmas moment and everything like that. I loved it. I loved this episode. It was really funny, really heartfelt. Great moments with the cast and a great end to the season. I love this season, but I honestly do think this finale really nails it. It's got the heart, it's got the comedy, and it's got the feeling of the old Frasier. It's finally, everything's starting to click. I feel like they're really back. So hopefully we get more of this, but I have loved this season, and I've loved anyone who's watched it with me. I've been enjoying it, and I really appreciate anyone who's come on this journey with me, because Frasier Reboot Season 2 has been awesome. One of my favorite shows of the year for sure, and I was here to review every episode, and if it comes back, I'm coming back again to do it too. But I hope you guys also really liked the finale, and I hope you really enjoyed the whole season of Frasier. At the end of the day, on the otometer, I'm going to give this Frasier season an 8.5 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it got better as it went on, and it had a lot of really good moments. Overall, some awesome TV, and I just loved it. Nostalgic, and for me, appointment television every week. I was here every Thursday watching Frasier. But thanks so much for your time, guys. You watched this far. I really appreciate that. Please like, share, and subscribe to the video. And remember, everybody, stay out of trouble.